Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm sorry. These off? These off, John, or no? Okay. Welcome to the July Forum. And if you're able, please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd now like to welcome up Chaplain Duke to lead us in prayer.
Thank you, Scott. Good to see everybody today. I will not be having announcements this afternoon, but I do want to call your attention to a celebration of life for Robert Horn on Saturday, the 26th at 2 p.m. here in the chapel. Reverend Jamie Prickett and myself will be officiating, and so I would welcome you to come out and support Anne and her family and friends on Saturday. I have a question for you this afternoon before we pray. What are you celebrating today? This is a rhetorical question. What are you celebrating today? I was going to say, other than getting out of bed, because that's normally the number one answer for people. Let those things come to you. Just hold them, whatever you're celebrating. The culmination of all Jewish prayer is to give thanks. And when we can give thanks together in community for the gifts that we've received, our community brightens a bit. That's why it's important to call to mind what we're celebrating today, because life can get pretty narrowed on the struggles and the troubles of the day, and we can forget the bigger picture of the great is thy faithfulness of God. So let us pause and give thanks for all those things we're celebrating. Let's pray. Lord, we gather together today here with you with hearts full of all the little things that we've seen along the way today that have inspired us to give thanks to you and to celebrate your generosity in our lives. All these gifts, Lord, make for this community. And so I pray, Lord, that everything that came to the hearts and minds of those here today that they're celebrating, that your Spirit would nestle it into them and help them to feel that goodness, that they might be encouraged to love and to be kind in generous ways as they have received from you in all of these blessings this day. We offer these prayers back to you in your great name. Amen.
Thank you, Duke. And here's our agenda for today. I'll be calling up in a moment our guest speaker, Zach Brackett. He's our director of Hull County Emergency Management, and he has some slides to share with us and answer some questions. This is where we will have some questions for him, because I don't get asked the director questions about Zach Brackett. So it's good to have him here. But we do get emergency management questions, so please feel free. Zach was actually around when our community was built, he just shared with me. So he's been around the area for well over 20 years, coming from the fire department, and now he's our director of emergency management. So with that, I'd like to invite Zach up.
Well, good afternoon. I do appreciate the invitation to come and talk to you a little bit today. I do have a question. Like, how many of you are from Gainesville? Raise your hand. Awesome. So we have some folks that haven't been here like a long time, which is great. I was fortunate enough. I was born and raised here, and started the fire department when I was young, and then I've slowly transferred into emergency management. So going to talk a little bit about what we do, what we're responsible for within the community, and how we can help you, and then answer any questions. We're also going to talk about some weather events we've had over the last couple of months that were kind of interesting. So the Hall County Emergency Management Agency has a total of 4 personnel, which doesn't sound like a lot. It's myself, I have a deputy director, and then I have 2 emergency management specialists, one of them who focuses on plans and one of them who focuses on logistics. We have responsibilities for the local emergency operation plan, which basically helps coordinate all the different public safety agencies within the county, whether it's county fire, city fire, all the various police and law enforcement agencies throughout the county. We also review all the school safety plans, both for the county and city school systems, to make sure that they're up with current recommended practices. People always ask me, what is it that you actually do in emergency management? And it's really difficult to explain because it's a lot of different things and it's kind of abstract. So I tell people it's like kindergarten. We make friends with everybody. We figure out what toys they have. And then occasionally we go to their sandbox to borrow their toys and play with them for just a little bit. So we help coordinate people and resources. And so think about things like chainsaws, generators, fuel, water, food. All those things we're responsible for making sure that we can get those things and share those things during a time of disaster. We're also responsible for all the fun paperwork from the federal side and the state side to make sure that we get reimbursed for our costs during a declared disaster. We're funded out of the Emergency Services Tax District and also through the Emergency Management for Performance Grant. So that's just a little bit about us. So some previous disasters and incidents, some of these you may have heard of and some of them you may not have. One thing that's always amazed me is the number of things that do not hit the paper or do not make the news that occur within our county. These things happen a lot of times overnight and you don't ever hear about them. But we've had previous disasters such as flooding, so we see a blown out culvert, hazardous material incidents, either from rail or truck, or even just fires at facilities, and then obviously tornadoes as well. About ransomware attacks. We had one of those back in 2020, believe it or not, with county government. Civil unrest, we've had that in downtown Gainesville. How many of you know that we actually run, Hall County Emergency Management, we run elections out of our Emergency Operations Center every single time there's a countywide election? So we do that as an assist to elections. We basically move all their phones and have a call center in our operations center. We have 911, we have law enforcement there, and we maintain good situational awareness for about 16 hours throughout the day, just in case anything happens. And we can have a faster response in case anything happens at a polling location. And then we also assist in the planning for dignitary visits, which only happens, seems like every 4 years when we all get to do the election thing. So with that, how many of you knew we had a tornado May 2nd? Yep, we sure did. It's been a while since we've had one, and we got really fortunate. And that's going to be really hard to read. I didn't realize how small that writing was going to be, so I apologize. But it was determined to be an EF1 tornado, and almost 3 miles long and about 150 yards wide. So that's a football field and a half wide. That's pretty wide. But the path of it started right in front of Lakewood Baptist Church and went across Thompson Bridge Road and then basically went straight up the lake. There was some damage on either side of it, but we were very fortunate. It was not warned by the National Weather Service, though. I don't know if you were aware of that. It most definitely was not warned by the Weather Service. And the middle picture is why. The middle picture is what they could see from Peachtree City, which is where the radar is located they were looking at. And so it just looked like a really bad thunderstorm. The problem is that view right there is at about 7,000 feet. So at 7,000 feet, that's what that looked like. The Georgia Tech Research Institute has a radar placed in Lawrenceville. And the right side picture up there actually shows the hook echo from the tornado, and it's just because it's closer. So a radar beam, when it comes out from a site, it actually goes up. It actually doesn't go up, but the earth is curved, right? So it's because they're so far away in Peachtree City, it's hard for them to see that. So with that, we had a lot of phone calls that people were seeing this tornado into 911. But another problem that we had was we had people from all areas of the county that were reporting seeing it, and we knew it wasn't that big, so we didn't know exactly where it was, which is a problem. So our dispatchers, fortunately, they followed their protocol. Whenever it was reported in from some trained spotters, they went ahead and activated our weather sirens as part of our system. June 7th, we had some straight line winds come through of anywhere from 75 to 95 miles an hour. It lasted, we actually had way more trees down because of this event, and it was kind of interesting because those winds translated across 51 miles across the state of Georgia, starting all the way over into Cherokee County and then coming all the way across to Banks with a peak wind of 95 miles an hour there and a width of 1 mile to 1.5 miles. So there was a pretty good swath across the county that had trees. We had over 200 trees that were down because of that event. Now, both of these events are some that we end up hearing, well, I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to storm today. And we can talk about, let's see if I get, yep, I do get to that. We'll get to, is it going to storm today here in just a minute. We have 23 outdoor warning sirens. I don't call them tornado sirens. And I do that because we can use them for things other than tornadoes. However, the purpose is in the name. It's an outdoor warning siren. So those are designed, if you're outside, for you to hear and to tell you to go inside and seek shelter. They're not designed to penetrate buildings. They're not designed to wake you up in the middle of the night while you're asleep in your bed inside your house. They're not. They are designed to tell people who are outside to go inside. And that's something that folks, they rely on them too much. We have 23 outdoor sirens. One's privately owned by the University of North Georgia. They own it and they maintain it, but it's on our system, so we can set it off if we need to. They're tested silently each morning, and we do audible testing on the first Wednesday of February, May, August, and November. The closest one to you that's on our system is at the Chattahoochee Golf Course. And then the second closest would be at North Hall High School, but I don't think it's close enough to be heard here. There's a lot of different things that make it to where you can or cannot hear those. It could be a beautiful, clear day, and you may not hear them. It could be a really cloudy day, and you may not hear them. The atmospherics and everything change the ability to be able to hear those. So just know that. So, tell you all that about all this stuff that's happened, and is there anything you can do about it? No, not really, other than you can be prepared. You can remain weather aware. My wife makes fun of me because she tells me I'm kind of an old soul because I like to hang out, drink coffee, and watch the weather. But I've always been that way. I've always been fascinated by the weather. So a couple of things to remember. One, Hall County has experienced a tornado during every month of the year over the years. So every single month, at some point throughout history, we've had a tornado. Is it going to storm today? I don't know. It's July in Georgia. Maybe. I'd say you got probably like a 50-50 shot every single day. So it's important to know that in the summertime, in the springtime, and in the fall of the year, we could have thunderstorms. Is there a hurricane approaching? Not currently, but that's something to look at. Luckily, with hurricanes, we can know that they're coming further out than what we're used to. What other threats do we have here in the county from natural disasters? Anybody got an idea? Earthquakes? Okay, yeah. You know what? I forgot about the earthquake, but we did. We did feel that earthquake, didn't we? So there's that. Flooding. Flooding is a huge risk for us, and dollar-wise, flooding causes more damage in every county throughout the state of Georgia than anything else. It's way more expensive to have a flood than it is to have trees come down. So that's something that we pay attention to. We're actually very fortunate with the lake being here. The lake helps to catch and then manage a lot of the rainfall that we get, except for some of the more developed areas down in Gainesville, Flower Branch, and Oakwood, where they've had all the development and they have all the pavement now that sometimes isn't engineered appropriately to be able to handle really heavy rain. The other thing you can do is be prepared. You need to have at least 2 ways to receive notifications. As far as the community goes, I'm more than happy to work with Scott to make sure that, you know, the appropriate folks have weather radios and all that. It's not a bad idea to have an app on your phone, especially if you have exterior facing room. You need to try to get as far into the building as you can. If there's any kind of severe weather alerts, you need to know where to go. You need to have a little bag with your medicines, your information, what's your key information that you have? You know, insurance cards, things like that, and a light source. If you've got a phone with you, you got a light source, at least for a little bit, right? So just some things to think about. We do have a citizens alert application that you can either do a QR code or you can go to alerts.hallcounty.org and you can sign up there for those. Now, again, it's predicated on the National Weather Service sending out an alert. So in the case of May 2nd, they didn't send out alerts, so my phone didn't go off either. I did get a phone call and somebody said, we got a tornado on the ground. And I said, no, we don't. And he said, yeah, we do. And I said, oh, okay. So then we tried to figure it out. So I know that was kind of short and sweet and to the point, but questions I can answer for you. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to know if you get involved with active shooters situations.
Yes, so we work very closely both with the school system on that side of active shooters and also with all of our trainings for large businesses and things like that. And actually, we've gotten away from calling it active shooter. Now we're calling it active assailant because how much damage can I do with a knife in a crowd? A whole lot, or a vehicle, as we saw in New Orleans earlier this year. So it's really anybody whose intent is to come in and do harm to a large group of folks. But yes, we do work closely with law enforcement, make sure that we're all on the same page as far as response packages and how we would handle that. Y'all gonna get your steps in today.
Scott, you may have already answered. You may have already answered this because I think I asked it once, and if I didn't pay attention, I apologize. But the 2 tornado sirens that we have on the grounds, do they work?
That I don't know. They're not part of my system.
Okay, we got one up by the front gate, and we got one down in the back.
I do know they don't work.
They don't work. Okay.
So there is an option for us at our cost, the community's cost, to get them up and running. We don't know how much that is at this point. And then we could tie into your system, correct, Zach?
That's correct, yes.
So that is an option. We will explore if we can get a price on how much it costs, and we'll go from there. But
Okay,
it's an
thank
option.
you.
I didn't want it to be an option where we get it fixed and then it's manually run, like we hear a siren and then we turn ours on. I don't want it to be that, because that can lead to error. So I'd rather be tied into their system if they're up and running.
I do know for years, and obviously it was before you were here, when I was on the fire department side, I believe the way that it worked was there was a weather radio at the guard shack, and then if the weather radio went off, then they would set off but if you can tie it in, we're happy to have you on our system, and ours is computerized, but then we can manually set them all off. Also, in the instance of in May, when ours didn't go off, we have a fail-safe, a big red button that says "Do not push." But you know, it's like only brake in case of emergency, but it's got this giant red button that says do not push, and we put a protective box around it. Like, you have to be very intentional. But it would probably be best, yes, absolutely, for you to hop on our system, and we're happy to have that. I'll just have to communicate with you before we test quarterly. If not, we don't want anybody to get
That's true.
upset.
And Zach, the ice storm that we had,
Which one?
well, this was January of this year, right? Wasn't it
Yes.
January? Any notices go out? No alarms or anything for that, but what does go out for something like that?
So, a lot of times with those kinds of storms, as long as they're seen, occasionally we will have a quote-unquote surprise storm that will hit us during the winter. You know, you'll wake up and there'll be a dusting of snow. Those are usually not that impactful. With larger systems, we do have briefings from the National Weather Service. We work very close with the Weather Service in Peachtree City, so we'll have briefings with them. We'll know roughly what's coming. You know, weather folks, I feel sorry for them. I really do. People say they got it made because they can be wrong half the time and still keep their job, but they get raked over the coals whether they're right or wrong. But we'll get briefings from them and then share that information. And I'm happy to add you to my distribution list on that too, just so you know what's coming.
That would be wonderful.
The thing to remember is that every 24 hours, 3 to 4 days out, we'll get a briefing, and then 24 hours later, we'll get another briefing, and the information continues to refine and change. So you can be expecting a little bit and get a lot, or vice versa.
I do have one other that's related to power outages. Can your office help at all with those when we experience them? The reason I say that is because we have very vulnerable adults that are in our assisted living and our skilled nursing center.
Sure. So one of the ways we can help with that, if you have an outage that is not, I'm assuming you do have generators on site that cover a portion. You know, it's very rare to have something that's covered fully, but so you have that. But like if we were running into an issue where, say, you're running out of fuel, or if it's just really not getting restored quickly, we do have contacts with the power companies. You know, you end up getting on that phone call, and they don't give you an ETA on how long it's going to take to get done. But I got people I can call that can make some stuff happen locally, especially for vulnerable populations.
Great. Let's thank Zach. Thanks for coming, Zach.
Thank you.
Now we'll have Julie come up and give us an update on our sales side.
Well, my report isn't quite that exciting, but, okay, I'm going to announce some of our new residents that we have. Pat Scroggs, she's in 1511. Pat, are you here? No? Okay. Brian Downs, he's in 1418. No, he's not here either. We have Frank and Carol Rinker. They're on Dove Cove Circle. And then we have Susan Zapata, 1615, and Darwin and Deanna Poles. They transferred from one apartment. Oh, Susan, there you are. I didn't see you. You're just a little bitty. That's Susan Zapata. You want to stand up so we can greet you and welcome you here? Thank you, thank you. And then the Poles, they transferred to 1401. Some people, they're on a special thing called a FIN, the Future Is Now, where they come into a smaller unit, and then when the unit that they want comes available, they get to transfer to that. So that's why you might be seeing people kind of coming and going. All right, so some of our events, we just had a 101 event yesterday, and it was a very light event. Normally we have about 60 people that show up for this, and we truly had maybe 15. And so it was a light one, but that's normal for summer events. It gets a little warmer, people just want to stay inside. So the other thing that we're doing is webinars. So our home office will have a specialty webinar. It's not here, it's held via at the home office, and they do that. So that's another way we reach out to some of our priority list folks. And then we're going to be doing the Beatles with Life Engagement in August, so that will be a fun event. So we're looking forward to that as well. And also, I want to thank you folks for really being a very good friend, neighbor to those that have moved in recently. It just warms my heart to see people reaching out and just really being a great neighbor. So thank you for that. And I wouldn't think of anything less of you folks because you're so loving and caring. So I just want to tell you thank you for doing that. Okay, so this is something new for you folks. I thought it'd be fun to kind of give you an overview of our region. We have 6 communities in our region, and out of all of those communities, there are only 43 units available, which is almost unheard of. 3 out of the 6 are at 100% occupancy, and then totaled occupied, committed, or selected is 97.70, and that is, I mean, almost unheard of. So we're doing really well. Lawanda actually has the most move-ins for the month of July for our whole region. So if you see Lawanda, you got to give her a little shout out. She works really hard. And then, as I do, since we're talking stats, and I'm going back home 2 weeks, the Iowa State Fair is going on. I'm going to go back and do it with my grandsons and enjoy that. But a little stat about the Iowa State Fair. It's the 6th largest in the United States. And they always have about over 1 million people visit the Iowa State Fair every year. And you can buy almost any kind of food on a stick. So I'll be at least 10 pounds heavier when I come back. So thank you very much. And then next is Stephen.
Good afternoon. Little different crowd this month than last month. I've just got a couple of quick updates, nothing too crazy. I just wanted to recap something I brought up last month. We're still dealing with a few effects from the lightning that we had. June 18th, I believe, was the date. Most of you are aware that the back gates are still having some issues, at least on the exit side. We did get confirmation that there's going to be a technician out tomorrow. We will also have coordination with our corporate IT department to try to make sure that hopefully by the end of tomorrow, we will be back up and running as we should with the gates. The other challenge that we're kind of dealing with currently is still the alarm panels. When that lightning struck, it hit multiple relays that are in the ceilings, particularly in the east building. And those relays are not mapped out. So we've had to manually go through the ceilings of multiple floors to try to find these relays. And we finally have the last 2, and they should be here tomorrow to replace those relays. And then the panel should clear and get back to normal. Everything is functioning at 100%. It's just that annoying beep at the panel that you will no longer have to deal with as you walk in the buildings. A couple of landscaping notes. Many of you probably saw that I had a lot of trees removed, and I think I brought it up in the last forum that I was going to have some trees removed from the storm damage. I've still got a few of you on the list. I've got another tree removal, I guess, planned out for the middle of August. So we'll have a little bit more, I guess, a little more company from the tree removal group. Elevators is the next thing to touch on real quick. So we have the modernization of 2 of the elevators that will begin on August 28th. We had a pre-construction meeting on the 14th. They're going to come in on the 28th. We'll start staging materials. It's not going to affect any of you, this first one, because it's the freight elevator that's in the maintenance hallway. So it won't affect any of you at this point. But it will give us a good idea of how the project is going to go, the timing, how much time it's going to take, and then also more information on their process so that when we do the next one, which is the admin elevator next to Julia's desk, we will have a better idea of how it's gonna go and be able to accommodate you guys the one that it will affect. And speaking of that admin elevator, you may have realized by now, but a few weeks ago, we were finally able to put a new button in next to the desk. It does not light up, but it works. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to keep pushing the button. It's coming. So that was one. Let's see. The Chapel Garden project. We got some good news on that today, as a matter of fact. We had one final hurdle that we were dealing with to get Hall County to release the initial permit for us. We were able to overcome that this afternoon, about an hour before I came in here. So the permit will be released first thing in the morning. You guys should see some movement from Southeastern Builders, probably the beginning of next week, starting to stage construction fences, dumpsters, all that good stuff to get ready for that project. So that was great news. And the final thing I would like to touch on real quick is the new work order system that is so much fun for us. It's actually going really well compared to Salesforce. But some of the challenges that we are dealing with now is there was an update about a week and a half ago. Some of you may have noticed that you're now getting notifications when changes are made to the work orders, which is very good. That was a very welcome thing. One of the problems that we're having at the same time with that is that they're going back and they are somehow, the way the program is working is they're pulling work orders from Salesforce with a code that brings it into TELS. When we complete the work order, there's a code that brings it back to Salesforce to complete it for now. So until we can eliminate Salesforce with the maintenance process full-time, there's going to be a glitch or two here and there. But what's happened most recently is that it's going back and it's closing out work orders for some reason that have not necessarily been closed out. I've received probably about 20 emails in the last few days of work orders that were closed. Most of them were multiple work orders for the same resident, and 95% of them were 3 to 5 years old. But there have been a few work orders that were more current and should not have been closed out. So I just wanted to let you guys know that's not our team going through and just randomly closing out work orders that we haven't completed. That's part of a glitch in the way that the new work order system is working. So if you have any work orders that are current, that have been closed out recently in the last couple of weeks that shouldn't have been, please reach out to either Chris or myself so that we can reopen that work order for you and make sure that that task is getting done. And then also part of the process for the work order. So I've talked with our team, and we've always done a good job getting work orders assigned and completed, typically within 48 hours, unless we have to get contractors involved or if we're waiting on parts or materials to come in. But we did have a meeting this week just to kind of reiterate and go over that process, make sure that my guys understand within 24 hours the work order needs to be assigned. Within 48 hours, we're going to be making contact with you in one form or another to schedule an appointment if we haven't already seen you or talked to you. But then every step of the way, we also want to be adding comments to that work order. So if we do try to reach you or if we knock on your door and you're not there, we're going to add a comment to that work order so that you can see it, that we made the attempt, and then you can reach back out to us and we'll get it scheduled or however we need to do that. And that's really all that I have. I will introduce Chad, I believe, is next. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Afternoon, everyone. I'm Chad Whitehead, the Culinary Director. So some updates. So we've added a new time slot to our Mountain View reservations. So that is at 5:45. It was 5 o'clock, 5:15, 5:30, now 5:45. So we're open a little longer. That's good. Also, we're going to do our first food forum, excited about that, on August 12th at 3:30 here in the auditorium. So what that's kind of going to entail is more, it's all food. So we'll have some food and beverage, but then it's going to be more like an open conversation. I might have a topic, and we're just going to talk about food. So very popular topic, so hopefully have a good conversation about that. Go easy on me. Open positions. So Daryl Walden, our assistant restaurant manager, has put in his resignation notice. Daryl and his wife Pam plan on opening their own restaurant and bait shop, Brooklyn Catfish School, and it'll be where Sherry's Bait Shop and Barbecue is located. Just give y'all the update. That's very recent that happened. So that is also something that is posted. We also have one line cook position open. That hopefully we'll have an offer out this week. Also, we have a dishwasher offer as well. A couple of openings, but for the most part, we're very close from being full-time. So we're super excited about that. Knock on some wood. But keep that going. Of course, employee retention is also a focal point of ours as well. So this is kind of what I've referred to as top and bottom now. So for the top items we have for June, it was teriyaki salmon, steak Philly, filet mignon, fried okra. Usually we don't have sides on there, but I did want to let y'all, that's an outlier, that's our most popular side by far, so I did add that in there. A lot of good comments about that, love that. Salmon, club wrap, chicken tenders, pizza, Caribbean salad, still number over the other salad, and bistro cheeseburger. Also give you an update that the steak Philly is going to switch tonight to chicken Philly. That is a late notice because one, we got a shipment in of the chicken, so we have to use that product. So we're going to do that, but we also had a lot of requests for the chicken as well. We might rotate that more often. Also, for our bottom 10 ordered items, we have pasta marinara bake, tortellini alfredo with spinach, veggie burger, eggplant parmesan, herb roasted lamb chop, pesto shrimp spaghetti, beef short ribs, bistro grilled cheese, and grilled chicken tenders and fried chicken with gravy. So with that, so y'all realize also that we do take notice of that. We are monitoring how much something is ordered. This kind of shows that as well with our new items from the old items. So our pasta bake, we moved to spinach alfredo manicotti. Mexican chopped salad was our second compared to the Caribbean, so we're going to keep rotating that till we find something y'all like better than the Caribbean, if we ever do. So that's the Cobb salad. The steakhouse burger, we switched to a mushroom, bacon, and Swiss burger, going pretty popular. I know some people miss the steakhouse burger, but we're going to keep on trying different items, and please let me know, send those comment cards in, like, hey, I missed the steakhouse burger. But we're going to try some different things throughout the year, so that way you keep on trying new things and have your favorites will rotate back in. Lamb chops, scallops, snapper, and then key lime pie in Sydney's. And we changed that for the grilled T-bone lamb with roasted red pepper aioli, lobster Newburg over puff pastry, Chilean sea bass with lemon dill aioli, and then our raspberry cheesecake. We also did the flatbread for an Old Bay shrimp flatbread, and then rice pilaf with sauteed spinach to cilantro, rice, and broccolini. I probably won't read this out next time. I'm so sorry, but now I'm already committed. But then we have pasta marinara with fettuccine alfredo, and then tortellini alfredo with baked cod with a tomato vinaigrette. Healthy option, so we'll see how that goes compared to the pasta. Caribbean salad to Cobb salad, and then our pesto shrimp spaghetti to a shrimp and lobster spaghetti over angel hair pasta. Sorry, take a breath. Also with that, we have our typical slide of the reusable containers to go. The green ones, a lot of people have mentioned to me that they did not know it's dishwasher safe. It is. So once you get done with those, you can just put them in your dishwasher with everything else, hit the start button, and then once they're done, when you go back to the bistro next time or Mountain View, you can just bring them back if you don't mind. We are doing really well with that. We are utilizing them, and we're keeping up. We haven't bought any more, so we're circulating perfectly. So thank you all for bringing those back. Please continue to do so. That keeps the Going Green alive. Yes, so on here as well, and what we post. After we get those, we still, by code, need to ensure they're safe. So we put them in our industrial dishwashers ourselves afterwards, because it guarantees we have temp logs and everything, that it's getting to the right temp, the right sanitation level, and it's sanitary when we put them back out. So we do that ourselves afterwards, but we ask you to wash them so when you return them, you don't have a smell, grease, stains, pests, or anything like that. So it's still important to please wash those before you bring them back. So K4, we're talking about that a lot. Just a quick little guide of how to use K4. A lot of people don't know that we have all of our menu items on K4. So all you have to do is go to this is more Apple, that's what I'm for. App Store, type in on search K4. Notice there's not a space between K4 Community Plus, and then it'll pop up at the bottom when you do K4. Click on it, download it, and then the app should look like with the house, K4 Community Plus. Then once you have that, that's kind of what it looks like. So don't pay attention to my picture up on the top left, but then if this is more for culinary, but if you go to the bottom right where there's a fork and a knife and says dining, you click on that. The next slide, you have all of our venues that you can select on, and it has the menu items on that. Also, what we'll be utilizing, hopefully if it works out, the up top where it says menus, we have dining information as well. We're going to try to be using that with organizational charts or different information as well. But once you go to the venue of your choice, notice where it says today and there's an arrow next to it. You can go to future dates if you would like as well, or you can go previous with the other arrow. Pay attention where it says lunch right there. So when it says lunch, if you keep going down past all the lunch items, then you have dinner. So you can keep scrolling for the rest of the items. But if you click on read more next to the item, it gives you the nutritional facts as well. Allergies, serving size, calories, cholesterol, fat, fiber, all the information. We still recommend if you have allergy, please bring it to manager attention so we can make sure and ensure that we tell our chefs to stay by our menu recipes. All right, that's it for me, and Vicki Daugherty is up next. Thank y'all.
Hello, everyone. So good to see your smiling faces, and to those of you who will be watching from home. I have a number of announcements. I'm going to try not to take up too much airtime. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about K4. First of all, I would like to applaud all of you for really stepping up and utilizing K4. I know it has come with some growing pains, but it's been a tremendous asset for us in life engagement. So thank you so much for everybody who has jumped on board. But I wanted to let you know, we will never leave you out. If you are uncomfortable using the app, or you have a visual impairment, or you have difficulty navigating it, we are here to help sign you up for events. We want people to be utilizing our apps because it helps you to stay informed and on top of what's happening. But please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need assistance. Sue and I are here to help you sign up for events. All right, so, and as we have made an effort to go paperless, you will notice that you're not getting as many paper notifications in your box. So please be sure to take a look in your communication rooms, because what we have replaced those reminders with are flyers, colorful flyers that are placed in your mail rooms and the communication room in clear stands. And a big thanks to the guys in the woodworking shop and our maintenance team who installed wonderful shelves in each of the mail rooms for us to cleanly display those signs. So be sure to be looking there, because you will not get reminders in your mailbox for all of the events. And also make sure to look at your calendar. K4 is also a great tool. I want to give you a little K4 tip. If you're looking for a specific event, you can scroll, but if it's several days in advance, it may take time to get to the event that you want to see. In the top, I think left-hand side, there is a search bar. You can put a keyword in and it will take you directly to the event that you are wishing to know about, and you can sign up for it that way, okay? I put a short little video on the link, which hopefully I'll be putting up maybe a higher quality one on our Axe TV. And I know that the IT team is working on doing little mini videos to help with the utilization of our new technology. So keep an eye out for that. I want to give you some updates on upcoming events. So what's happening at LVE? Of course, this weekend we have our food truck. And I don't know if any of you have heard of the lunch counter. Has anybody heard of the lunch counter? It is a small little hole-in-the-wall burger place that has opened up a food truck, and everyone that I have talked to has said that their smash burgers are incredible, and they were actually voted one of Gainesville's best burgers. They will be here Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m., serving up their famous smash burgers, wings, and sides. So come on out. We do not have a beverage service, so while the truck will have sodas and waters, if you wish to have an adult beverage, you may bring your own adult beverage. Let's talk about some fun coming up in the month of August. We are going to board the Good Ship LVE for Cruise Week. We have a lot of fun activities planned throughout that entire week, so we're going to do a quick rundown. On Monday the 4th, we're going to have a Bon Voyage Day. We're going to have a Tacky Tourist Mixer in the afternoon, and we're going to replace our usual bingo with Bubbly and Bingo. So I hope you come ready to both sip and play and win. On Tuesday, we are going to do a ship-wide scavenger hunt that will run throughout the week. In the afternoon, we will have a towel folding workshop. I don't know if any of you have been on a cruise and have seen those really cool towel animals. I will be showing you how to make them. I have to learn that myself. YouTube TV, thank you very much. On Wednesday afternoon, we are going to have cruise trivia. Sandy McCrae, if you're in the room, if you're at home, thank you so much. She's been working on some fun cruise trivia. In the evening, we're going to have a karaoke party. On Thursday, we are going to have a Captain's Cocktail fundraiser for the Samaritan Fund, which I'll be talking about more in depth in the next slide. And we'll close out on Friday the 8th with a call to port party where we will have a mixer here in the auditorium. I'll be doing a rolling slide of all of our fun activities throughout the week and presenting awards from contests and activities we've done. I will be posting a full ship itinerary in each of the rooms, and I'll be posting it on the link as well, so be looking out for that. That's also another resource. If there's any visual flyer that I can provide for you, I will also try to insert it in the link as well so you can see that at any time. All right, let's talk about our Captain's Cocktail. I'm so excited to be part of this event. We have the Speakeasy Duo coming to provide entertainment, but we have a whole evening of wonderful itinerary. When you arrive at 5:30, you will register with volunteers that will be checking you in, allowing you to board the Good Ship LVE for an evening of fun. We will have drinks and hors d'oeuvres at the crossroad, and we'll have silent auction items in both the heritage and meeting rooms. And we have over 25 items to bid on, ranging from gift cards to artwork to massages. We'll have a bar via Avocados set up at the crossroads. Your ticket will include one cocktail of choice. They'll have wine, beer, signature cocktails, and a mocktail available. We will also have heavy appetizers and desserts. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the menu, but we have everything from beef Wellington to dessert shots. And then we will have the Speakeasy Duo performing from, I thought it was 6:45 to 8 p.m. So there may be some changes to this itinerary. At the end of the concert, we will be showing silent auction items. Who has won? We'll announce those winners, and you'll be able to claim your prizes at the back of the room. The way that you access this wonderful event is via reservations. If you have not reserved your spot, you can purchase tickets. They are $50 per person plus a meal swipe, and you can find those reservation forms at the front desk and in your mail rooms. You would fill out those reservation forms along with your payment and turn them into Vicki Westmoreland. On the 28th and 29th, we'll be doing in-person sales in the clubhouse, and there'll be more details about the location on the link. But if you have not had a chance to purchase your tickets, seats are disappearing, and you don't want to miss your opportunity to board the Good Ship LVE for an evening of fun. We have one last item that I wanted to talk about. We will be taking a trip back in time to spend an evening with the Beatles in partnership with our marketing team. It's our summer blowout concert, and we will have The Return here. They are the youngest and designated the premier Beatles cover band. Actually, Tammy Stith went to see them and sent me a video. Their harmony is absolutely incredible. How do you get a ticket to see the Beatles? K4. If you go to K4 for the date of the event, which is August the 22nd, you will see Beatles ticket lottery. We'll be doing tickets via lottery. If you sign up, you will be entered into the lottery. When the 15th rolls around, which is the deadline for lottery, I will print a list and we will randomly select names from that. Of course, if you're a couple, we'll pull the couple together. So I hope that you'll go online and sign up. If you want to be part of that lottery and you're not using K4, please reach out to me because it's going to be a fantastic event. That's all I have for you today. I'll be here at the end if you have any questions about anything.
Good afternoon, everybody. How are y'all? Good to see you. I'm Tammy Stith. I'm the administrator for WBC and OBT. That's our assisted living and our skilled nursing facility. I got a few updates. You know, we've been talking about this for some time, and the topic of the day is COVID. Of course, nobody likes to hear that. Started that in 2020, right? And here we are talking about it today. It exists, so we talk about it, and we have plans to deal with that. So the good news is in WBC and OBT, we have no active cases of COVID, and that's fantastic. We have had a few cases within our whole community, but we have been in our outbreak monitoring status in WBC because we did have an exposure. So what that means is somebody that was identified that had COVID was over in our WBC area. So when that happens, we have a plan. So we jump on that plan. It's an outbreak monitoring and prevention plan. So we immediately wear our mask. That's something that we can do. We wash our hands. We identify any gaps in our plan to help strengthen that. So you will see when you come to WBC that we have signs posted in the elevators. Please, we encourage you to wear a mask when you come to visit. And we have testing going on of our team members and our residents. We wear our masks for a 14-day period just to make sure that we are clear. So that's strictly a preventative measure. During our testing times, if we find that we have another positive, or if we find a positive in this case, then we start over with our 14 days. So we'll go into another 14-day testing phase, so, and wearing our mask. So prevention, the spread of infection. And you may be asking yourself, what can I do? What can I do to help out with that? So one of the things, or some of the things that you can do is if you're noticing that you've got a cough or shortness of breath, you feel a little tight in your chest, you know, you got sore throat or nasal congestion, runny nose, weakness, fatigue, headache, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and chills, that's a time that you need to stop and think, and sometimes we have to accept it, hey, I might have something going on here. So what should I do? Well, number one, I would stay at home, okay? So you want to not be around other people. And then I pick up the phone and I would call our primary care suite and see if they could see me down there. That way you can identify what's going on with you. So all of our goals is to prevent that spread of infection. So we encourage you to wear a mask. So if you do feel any of those symptoms, we ask that if you're planning a visit to OBT or WBC, if you'll just reschedule that for a time when you're feeling better, you gotten the all clear, because we are getting into, once we get more into the fall, we're getting into our respiratory season. So we're looking at those things. And also, I want to give a big shout out of thanks to everyone that has been visiting and wearing masks, washing your hands. That does not go unnoticed. And that's a big thank you from me and the rest of our teams in OBT and WBC. And also, I want to just mention this too, because GMA had just put out a heat advisory. So during the heat advisory, we got some big old temperatures here in Georgia. So we need to make sure that you're outside walking. Make sure you carry something to keep yourself hydrated, or wear a hat, take an umbrella with you, and make sure you're getting your water, your fluids in, and don't forget your pets. Make sure they're getting that water too. So thank you for all you do. And I think Miss Anna is next. Thank you.
All right, hello, good afternoon. It's hard to believe it's been a month. It's no time at all, but thank you again to everyone for such a warm welcome, and it's been a pleasure getting to know each and every one of you, and I look forward to continuing that journey. Aaron Bundy is on vacation this week, so I just wanted to share an update. We do have a new lead driver, John Bozarth II. John, are you here? He was going to stop by, but he had a ride he needed to take someone. But he is a professional driver. He worked for UPS for about 30 years. He's been a wonderful addition to our team, and I'm sure everyone that uses transportation has had a chance to get to know him. He will be doing office hours at the clubhouse front desk starting in August. So Tuesday morning and Friday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. If you have questions for him or want to know more about our transportation that we offer, please stop by, introduce yourself. Again, we really look forward to having him. He's a wonderful professional. All right, hospitality updates. We do have maintenance requests that Stephen mentioned or touched on. One of the things that I've been working on with that team is incorporating TELS, which is just an insider term for us, is the new work order system that the maintenance team is using. And it is interfaced with K4, so we're encouraging all of our residents to utilize that system as much as possible in order to put in maintenance tickets. So ideally, you put in a maintenance ticket and we respond to it. We put notes in there so you get updates, what's going on with it. We assign it accordingly and it gets followed up on and closed out. So I'm really working with that team so that we can integrate that new system for them. They went away from Salesforce. We can integrate the new system and really use those tickets as they come in to follow through. So we just ask that you please follow that process. For us, it's a culture shift, so we're really trying to move towards, rather than break and fix, preventative maintenance. So how can we as a maintenance team get out in front of those issues so that you're not having to tell us that something is broken? Although we do appreciate working together as a community to keep everything looking beautiful. Next week we will be rolling out housekeeping. We'll be moving on to that same platform. So in the near future, you'll have the opportunity to not only put in a maintenance work order, but you could put in a housekeeping work order as well. So we will keep updates coming as we're one of the pilot properties for ACTS. rolling that out with our housekeeping team. And also, don't forget, if you aren't interested in using technology, you can always stop by the front desk, and the lovely Julia will assist you with putting in our work order there. Resident committee meetings, I've been to most of them for the first month I was here, but I just ask that you send me an email or calendar invite or some kind of reminder so that I can participate. I just don't want to miss any of them and want to be here to support you. We also have our ACTS TV installation going on, started earlier this week. I shortly will be welcoming Marcus Colina up here to speak with you briefly. But who here attended our tech fair the last 2 days? Nice. Thank you, thank you. It was so wonderful to see everyone turn out for that. A big thank you to our ACTS IT team. It really, again, these tools are only as good as how well we use them. So the more we can work as a team to get information to each other, we will continue doing that. We will have our tech cafe that will start. I'll send out an update. I'm connecting with Vicki and Ethan. We'll have that ongoing in that lobby area so that we can continue getting to any residents that weren't able to attend the last 2 days. And with that, I would like to welcome Marcus up here, and thank you so much for your time.
Put it over here. Hi, everybody. Oh, I can put it over here. Excellent. Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I am Marcus Colina. I'm the director, actually new director of resident technology for ACTS Life Communities. And I first of all want to thank you all for attending our first ever technology fair for the communities. We're going to be having that throughout all the communities, and we're basically getting everybody on board with the K4 community, my ACTS Life experience, and just educating all with the new ways of technology and how to use it and how to make your lives better using the technology. I want to thank you again for your patience. There were a lot of people at the tech fair, and everybody was great. Everybody learned a lot, and I hope to have more here in the future. Just a little background about me. I am from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I was with ACTS for about 4 years at the St. Andrews Estates and Edgewater at Boca Point. And I was working with her as a CTA, just like Ethan and Jeremiah. And then I worked my way up to Director of Resident Technologies. What I want to really focus on is ACTS TV, okay? A lot of the residents, not just here in Lanier Village, but everywhere, all the communities I visited, were like, why are you getting rid of my in-house channel? Well, technology is changing. We have to adapt, we have to change. And so what we're doing is rolling with the punches with what's happening. So a lot of the in-house channels that are sponsored by Spectrum, by Cox Communications, by Xfinity, they are getting rid of the in-house channels. We don't have a time frame or a timeline, but they're going to be getting rid of it. So we had to come up with a different solution, and that solution is video, on-demand video. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it, with Netflix, with Hulu, with Amazon Prime. So ACTS has decided to go that route. Okay, I had a piece of paper here to give out to everybody, but instead I posted it on the K4 app, okay? So if you have the K4 app, you can go ahead and open it, and I put a document called ACTS TV FAQs. So basically what I want you to do is, go ahead and open up your phone, take a look at K4 app, and if you go to the home button, you'll go ahead and see the latest what's new, and you'll see the K4 document for you. Okay? Now, what I want to go really quickly over, so I don't have a lot of time, is just the basically comprehensive of ACTS TV. First of all, we're going throughout the community right now. We're in the east right now. We're going to be finishing up the east location, going to west in the next week, and then going to the cottages. So, ACTS TV comparison. Let's take a look. Why did we do this? Okay, the in-house channel is going to continue to still be with ACTS TV alongside for the next couple of, I don't know, because we don't know when Spectrum's going to say enough. Okay, so we're going to go coincide with ACTS TV and the in-house channel 1&1. But we want to start moving our content over to ACTS TV and the K4 ecosystem, as you see. All videos are broadcasts. We're live right now, not on just YouTube TV that you have here in Lanier Village, but also on ACTS TV. Now, I'm sure a lot of you have, if you came to the tech fair, you could access ACTS TV through your small device, your iPhones, your Android phones, your tablets, but you also have an option to add it on your computer. Okay, why do we want it on your computer on the website? Why? Anybody? Bigger screen, exactly. I could barely look at, ACTS TV on here. But if I'm traveling, yeah, I kind of want to know what's happening in the community. What's an advantage of this? Can you get channel 900 or 901 when you're out in the Bahamas or on your boat or you're on your cruise? Not really, but you can get your ACTS TV when you're traveling, okay? So you can find out what's happening in the community that way. The phasing, the cable companies will stop supporting. We could go ahead and have residents shift over to ACTS TV. Okay, the features and limitations of ACTS TV. It's strictly live broadcast and on demand, okay? So you don't have to say, hey, you know what? I got to go ahead and go home at 8:00 p.m. and watch ACTS TV. It doesn't work that way. It works anytime you want to, okay? So if you're up at 3 in the morning and you say, hey, you know what? I didn't go to the Vespers. I'm going to go ahead and watch it then, okay? That's the on-demand part, okay? Different about with YouTube TV and ACTS TV, the fact that there's no other ads or any kind of other distracting features. It's all about ACTS TV. And again, there's no way to download these videos. Okay, it's all strictly online. Okay, content management. So once we get this first phase out of getting all the devices out to the communities, the next phase is creating content. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. You have seen that Lanier Village has a bunch of folders, as well as ACTS Community has a bunch of folders. And I'm sure if you clicked on it, they're like, I don't see a lot of videos, okay? That's the next phase. After we deploy all these devices, is we're gonna ask communities to start making content for the residents. And we also want residents to start making content. So it's very exciting for the community to have that opportunity to make engaging videos, to make information available to everybody. Okay. So how is content management going to be arranged? So the executive director is going to designate 5 or 6 team members. So as you see in the Lanier Village ACTS TV, you'll see a panel of saying fitness, culinary, spiritual life, resident content. He's going to designate some people to be content creators, I'm sure you've heard that word before, to make videos about the community, having the department say, hey, you know what? Here's how I make my special lemon bun cake. I made that up. I don't know if that's real. People like that. People want to know what's happening. I know some residents want to talk about their gardens, the chapel gardens. I know you're having one built out right now, correct? Would it be nice to have a status update if someone put a video out about it? Okay. So again, all these videos are going to be approved. They're going to be looked over and make it the content the Axe Life community way. Again, I talked about it's available on the web, television, and it's community specific. Now, each community has their own Axe TV with their own content and special. Unfortunately, it's not crossing over, so you won't be able to see St. Andrews, and St. Andrews won't be able to see your videos. Okay? But Axe, the company, will have available to everybody in the community. So it's at the very, very bottom. If you ever look at your Axe TV, you'll see at the bottom portion for the community. And the last one, just think of it as Axe TV as YouTube or Netflix or Hulu. It's all video driven. Okay? Any questions or anything before I go? Yeah, go ahead.
Are you going to move the previous videos over to Axe TV?
Correct, yes. We're going to be moving over videos for to the old Axe TV. We're going to work with Scott, and we're working with the team to see, I don't know if you want videos that were 4 years ago or 5 years ago, but we want to keep stuff content current. Okay? Anybody else? Did I answer your question? Okay, thank you very much. Oh, yep, go ahead.
I've been getting a lot of questions about, is it going to be on multiple TVs?
For right now, it's going to be deployed to one TV per household.
Okay.
In the future, we're looking at that into the future. Okay? Yep.
So how do our tech volunteers for Vespers on Sunday learn how to put Vespers worship services up on?
They're doing it already.
Okay,
Yep, they're doing it already.
okay.
And so, again, we're working, and first of all, I want to thank you, I forgot to thank the RTAs, your resident technology ambassadors here that helped us at the tech fair and helping everyone here at the community with their tech questions. Yeah, but yeah, it's being done right now. Yes.
So are we going to get any devices or instructions on how to do the content?
Correct, yes. There's a gentleman, Brian Donathan, who's going to be sending out devices out to all the communities, and we're going to get tutorials on how to be a creator, basically. So it's a lot new. I'm telling you, we're not, teenagers or kids who know this stuff by the back of their head. We're a little bit older, so we have to learn all this technology.
Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Now that's a laptop, right? What the heck? All right, I'm overwhelmed, Marcus. Thank you. I'm sure our residents are as well with all that information. Community visit summary. So on July 16th, we had leadership from Axe come to the community. They toured the grounds. Some were able to walk through the buildings. They met with resident group, your resident leadership, and met with our team member leadership. And it was a wonderful visit, a very positive visit. A lot of good information they were given as to how we can continue to move forward, do things a little better from our team members as well as our resident leadership. But overall, a very good meeting. So the community looked great, the grounds looked great, and you all, anybody they ran into seemed very positive, so that was very good. So thank you very much. And I'll make this quick because I'm surprised it's gone an hour and 15 minutes, and I'm sorry for that. Scam Central, this is just a few things that'll help you. I can look down here, I forgot. So use reputable antivirus protection. If you have a laptop, use that. Update the software on your devices. Stay with the most current because they add in scam protection to some of them. Only use apps you trust. Don't listen to a friend or get an email that, hey, check out this great app, and if you don't know about it, don't go on it. Avoid public Wi-Fi. Use your phone data instead, like if you're in the airport or some other place of business. It's just safer to use the data versus their Wi-Fi if you're not sure that it's safe. And steer clear of public USB charging stations. They're all over the airport. I've used them to charge my phone. If you have an available outlet in the wall, use that instead. These are some things that I found. And actually today I was told about 2 new scams that have hit our LVE community. And I shared them with your floor and cottage representatives, so they should be sharing them with you as well. But they're related to a phone call that a couple of residents, at least 2 residents have gotten, where this gentleman said, "Hi, I'm calling from Dr. Angeli's office." Pretty interesting, right? So obviously our nurse practitioner, Angeli, is not a doctor, number one, but, you know, it makes you think, you know, oh, Angeli's office is calling. And this gentleman proceeded to ask for information from our resident. She said, "Thank you for calling," and hung up on him. So I would expect similar calls to be coming. And then second was an email that's from one of our residents. It's someone that got access to her email, sent out to a bunch of friends. If they click on certain things, they'll likely send out to their friends and their contact list. So just be on the lookout for that as well. Don't click on anything. You would have known this person, so you think it might be something that you can click on, but reach out to them and say, "Hey, did you mean to send this to me?" Or just to be safe. President's Award. So every year, every community within ACTS nominates a President's Award nominee. And here, these were our 4 finalists. We had Melissa Morris, our fantastic fitness director, right? We had Amy Green, our wonderful physical therapist. We had Flavia Campos, our amazing sous chef. And we had Judy Ann Williams-Murray, our stupendous certified medication technician in Oak Ridge Terrace. That's a lot of words. So what happens is every community does, and then they pick a regional winner from our 4 regions, ACTS 4 regions. Our nominee did not win the regional award, but we wanted to recognize our nominee. And for Lanier Village Estates, it was Flavia Campos. So Flavia will get a nice award, a check, monetary award, and I think she gets some time off, doesn't she, Vicki, or is that the big winner? I'm asking Vicki Westmoreland because I feel like she knows everything, but I didn't tell her I was going to ask her that, so she gets some nice prizes. So please, if you see Flavia around, be sure to thank her. We're going to be presenting her award in the near future when we're able to. I was going to play the video, but I'm going to skip over because we're behind. So Tammy touched on a COVID uptick. We do currently have 3 independent living residents and 1 team member that are COVID positive. Angeli just texted me that during this meeting that the Hall County numbers have gone up greatly recently. So be careful, as Tammy shared. If you're not feeling well, stay home. Get checked out, though, just to make sure you don't have it. Okay or not okay? We got to have this in the meeting if we're going to have this meeting. So here's an update, actually. So this is new. So an update to this pretty sign that was posted on the woodshop door. The resident who put the sign came forward to me and explained the why, as to why it was put up. And when I've given it away, when he said, well, most of the woodshop is men, so when he says management, he wasn't talking about me and my leadership, he was talking about woodshop management. So since then, things have gotten better and cleaned up. A resident gets upset with our guard for not allowing someone on property when they arrive at the welcome house without any advance notification, and our guard is not able to reach the resident. Is that okay or not okay? It's not okay for the resident to get upset because the guard's doing what they're supposed to do. Number 1, they weren't notified in advance. Number 2, they will try to contact you. If they can't get a hold of you, they're not going to let the person in. A resident or team member makes LVE leadership aware of a potential safety hazard. Good or okay or not okay? And here's a picture of one. This was outside the bistro in the pool area / bistro patio. And you could see a little raised piece that needs to be attended to. So we'll be getting to that in the near future, but that's a great thing that our team member did. A resident or small group of residents decides to relocate personal furniture pieces into common areas on their floor. Not okay. Does it ever happen here? Yes. And this isn't a picture of our hallway. I just wanted to show something that kind of made it stand out. But, you know, it can look weird. It shouldn't be there if it's actually X property, the hallway, the common area. So if for some reason you have an idea, come to Anna or me and we'll look into it. A team member offers up an idea they feel will positively impact the lives of LVE residents or team members. That's great, right? ACTS recently came up with what's called an Ideas Hub for team members to suggest improvements in their community or all communities. And so far this year, ACTS has gotten 50 of those sent in from team members. Of the 50, 12 are currently being given serious consideration as to implementing across the board. So that's one thing that when ACTS leadership came here, they asked us, our team, were we aware of this? So for all of you, you're not going to be submitting to the Ideas Hub, but if you have an idea, feel free to submit it to one of us leaders, and we'll pass it on or we'll assess it. So this is just a little picture. I will be out on vacation much of next week, leaving Tuesday afternoon, coming back the following Thursday, going up to Michigan. My mom and dad are living up there with my sister, but we're going on what's called a chain of lakes. In inland Michigan, there's an inland waterway that connects about 12 to 15 lakes. So we'll be starting out near Burt Lake, which is on this screen, and we'll be hitting all those lakes and then going up to Mackinac Island, which is in northern Michigan. So it should be a fun trip. We just saw the weather forecast. I've been monitoring it, and it's a high of like 73, so it's going to be a big difference. I don't know, and being on the water, and I don't know if I'll be going in that water, but it'll be a good change. We talked about some weather events, and Zach didn't know I was going to have these slides, but June of 2024, we had Hurricane Helene impact us. January, we had a snow and ice event that cost us $12,000 in unbudgeted snow removal. It's not something that we get a budget for, but we needed to do it. In May of 2025, we had an earthquake that was felt here at Lanier Village. In May of 2025, we had a tornado within miles with no warning, as was talked about. And in June, we had a storm with winds and lightning strike very close to East Cottages that thus far has led to about $50,000 in unbudgeted damages to our community. So things happen up here, just like Zach had said. Anything can happen pretty much any month, it seems. And that's all I have. If there's any, I'll take a couple questions, but we're so far over, but I'll take 2 questions if you have any. Go ahead. Vicky's coming with something right now.
Hello? Okay. I know you all are as frustrated as we are about the back gate, but I just wish we could have a little bit better communication because I have heard that the coming in was working, and yet I tried to come in last Thursday after a meeting and there were cones there. So it's just frustrating if we don't know if we can get in or not. And if we could just put something in the link, one sentence.
Okay.
The in is working today, or the out is working today, or whatever. If we could just be kept up to date on what's going on.
Yeah, so
it would be helpful.
it's over 5 weeks. They've been out 3 or 4 times. They have to diagnose it. They think it's this. They get those parts. They come back. Now, that Thursday, that was actually, you'll be interested, and Zach will be as well. We were called by local emergency management. They have RFID tags on their equipment. So they normally, the gates would automatically go up as soon as they pull in. But with the RFID readers down, it won't automatically go up, and they don't carry a card. So they asked one of our guardhouse representatives to cone off that entrance because they came in one time and they had to back out, and it cost them a few minutes. I decided we weren't going to do that because I had made it known to residents that the card reader works coming in off Mount Vernon, and it continues to work. But for that short time on Thursday afternoon last week, we put cones in front, unbeknownst to me, because emergency management, not Zach, but Station 16 asked us to. So the fire department asked us to. I understand their concern as well, but we made it known to them, and we had already told them that the card readers worked on that entrance, but the RFID readers don't. But I guess the truck came and tried to get in there and couldn't, obviously. So I apologize for that, but
If we could just know from day to day.
I feel like I've communicated a lot on this particular
You
one
have.
because it's frustrated me incredibly.
Yes, all of us.
But thank you. I
And I know
understand.
it's frustrating to everybody. We appreciate what you're trying to do. Thank you.
Understand. Yes.
Today's link said that our health will no longer test for COVID. As Angelie, can
Yep.
you tell us the easiest way for us to get tested?
So if you make an appointment with our primary care suite is the new name across the ACTS. If you make an appointment, they will test you. You can't just walk in and get tested though. Otherwise, tests are very readily available too at stores, so, but that's, if you make an appointment, that's ACTS standard now. All right, everyone. Oh, one more. Chad or Vicky, please. This is gonna be it, because it's almost an hour and a half now.
To piggyback on the COVID question, and this is our first year here, are vaccines available here, or do we have to go onto the economy for that?
Tammy, are you? Call the front? Probably, Tammy, our administrator, thinks they may have vaccines here. Call the primary care suite. Kim will be able to give you an answer if we can give them here or not. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. We'll be hanging out for a little bit. Thank you so much.